Hey everyone, welcome back to the Weekly Awakening Podcast. This is your host, Cosmic Colleen, back with another weekly astrology update. On this episode, we are going to talk about everything happening from this past Monday, the 27th, up until the 4th of February, 1 month down in Capricorn season. Let me tell you guys something though. One of the first things I'm going to be talking about on this episode is about how Mars retrograde has really been making sure our normal get our shit together Capricorn season has been disrupted. Normally, like I like to say, when we're in Capricorn season, we get all of our shit together, we get it into alignment, we sort of purge, we welcome in something new, something quiet, and we just get back into a routine. And we get into usually a healthy routine. Now, this year though, this Capricorn season was going opposite. Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Mars retrograded back into Cancer on January 6th. And it has just been full of disruptions, not just for me, but for a lot of people I know. It has not been that kind of cool, calm, and collected, get your shit together Capricorn season. It has definitely been disrupted, and the plans did not go as planned. So we're going to talk about Mercury ingressing into Aquarius, which happened on Monday, the 27th. Today, Wednesday, we are waking up the 29th. We have a new moon in Aquarius. We woke up with it this morning, 7:35 a.m. I'm sorry, I wanted to get this out to you guys on Monday, but again, this whole year has been January. This whole year so far, 2025, has been disrupted. Then we have Mercury conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius at 2:52 a.m. And then Thursday, the 30th, the Sun in Aquarius trines Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, 5:58 p.m. right before Jupiter stations direct next week on the 4th. Then on Saturday, February 1st, we have Venus conjunct Neptune, and then it's conjunct the nodes, 11:33 a.m., and then Neptune at 4:42 p.m. Then, what do we have going on? On Monday, the 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And then on Tuesday, the 4th, Jupiter stations direct at 4:40 a.m. East Coast time after retrograding. And that began on October 9th, 2024. And on Tuesday, the 4th, Venus ingresses into Aries, 2:56 a.m., where she will begin retrograding in about a month, guys. Then we have the Mercury retrograde. So that's, again, talk about Mars in Cancer. I know I've had a few episodes about this, so if you want to go back and check out what else I've said, definitely do that. But Mars in Cancer, Mars is our motivator, drive. It also disrupts, ends, it severs. And again, Capricorn season is normally calm, cool, collected when we get our shit together. However, with Mars retrograde, the routine can get disrupted, which we saw the normal. For me, every Monday is like during the day, my kids are at school is like my day. I go to the gym, I do the podcast, I'll do appointments and everything. However, every single Monday in January got disrupted. The first Monday on the 6th, we had a snowstorm. That wasn't even that bad a snowstorm, but my kids had to stay home. Then the following Monday, we got the flu. My son got the flu. I'm sorry, he got a GI bug, norovirus. Remember when we used to call the flu the throw up thing? Now that's a cold, but back in our day, that considered the throw-up sickness. However, we got a GI bug, so my son was home from school, and then I got it. That was a hot mess. Then the following week was President's Day weekend, and then yesterday, because I couldn't get anything done for some appointments, I had to make yesterday all about appointments. So my Mondays have been all over the place, and I know I haven't had an episode in 2 weeks, but mostly me getting sick and then taking care of my son put everything behind. So everything I wanted to do was just not in order. And also, we're all very tired. We have no motivation. I have had no motivation to work out, no motivation to push through, no motivation to persevere. And that's kind of how we're all feeling right now. Remember, this too shall pass. Now, something that's been showing up, which is interesting, a lot of masculine pain is showing up. Men are definitely experiencing this emotional disruption. I know for me, I have a lot of male clients, and they don't always, as much as the females, sort of, have me, use me as a therapist. But a lot of the men, since Mars stationed retrograde and moved back into Cancer, all of them, while getting their hair done, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them have needed to talk. They needed to let things out. They needed to just sort of expose their feelings to their hairstylist. Again, I'm a lot of people's therapist. Most of us hairstylists are. And that was an interesting shift. I remember it was this one day, I swear to you, I had 6 men that day, and it was actually when Mars went opposite the sun, and every single one of them was like carrying and just divulging this like heaviness. And again, with the men, I don't always come across that as frequent as I do with my women clients. Now, some of them are dealing with the mother wound, childhood trauma. Some of them are dealing with past regrettable decisions. I saw that a lot of regrettable decisions of what they've done in the past, and feeling it now and hoping that it doesn't continue in the future the way that they are sort of projecting, and they're fearing with that. But in general, a lot of us, like I said, we don't have drive. Not the normal drive to steam and kind of push through something, take charge, full steam ahead. That will come, but right now it's like full steam below with Mars in Cancer, right? Instead of full steam ahead where persevere, it's full steam below. So internally, a lot of people are freaking out. Internally, there's just a lot of disruptions and a lot of emotional chaos, and sort of, again, a lot of what is happening. What are my true feelings? Why do my feelings feel disrupted right now? This will pass, I believe, by March 1st, because on the 27th, 28th, it stations direct. And then on March 1st, that first week, I think we're all going to start feeling a little bit better. Now, my Aries, my Scorpio, my Cancer placements, you guys are really going through it the most with all of this. With Mars retrograde again, Mars retrograde is out of all the retrogrades, Mars retrograde is my least favorite retrograde. I would honestly take the 3 to 4 Mercury retrogrades a year over Mars retrograde. So I feel for you. Like I said, my Aries placements, my Scorpio, my Cancer placements, people with Mars in the first house, you guys are feeling this the most, the heaviest. And you, especially Aries are like, go, 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 go. And so many of my Aries are like tapped out. They aren't go, 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 go. So time to get into your body, especially for my goers, my doers, my people like that. It is time for you to sit, be silent, trust the pause, trust the laziness, trust the lack of drive. There needs to be a recharge in you. And again, in today's world, sometimes we have to really physically be stopped by the planets, however they show up, in order to rest. Your body is actually saying, I need rest. I need laziness. I need you not to care or perfect every tiny moment or just keep doing. I need you to pause. And when we pause, so many of us feel, especially for those who do in order to not feel. So the feelings are uncomfortable, whether it's being tired, whether it's being not content, whether it's being confused, whatever that is, those are uncomfortable. So, like I always say, sit in that uncomfortable way. I just realized as I was talking, I had a crumb on my laptop, and I just, I was like, in the middle of this, let me just blow that crumb off my laptop. Now, Mercury entered Aquarius, and it will conjunct Pluto at first. We're feeling that at the beginning of this week, definitely today. First, since I'm a fully Mercury-ruled person, this transit, when it began, I started all these like very scientific thoughts in my head and these ideas. I called someone on Monday, and I was like, I'm thinking about skin cancer, and why is it that my grandparents, my great aunts and uncles, everybody, and on my dad's side, they were farmers. Like, why did none of them have skin cancer? Why did none of them at least die from skin cancer? Maybe they had it, but it didn't. And it got me thinking, and some of you might already know this, but I'm like, let me do my research. Oh, I was like, I wonder if there's medications out there that we're taking free willy that actually creates more skin cancer. And guess what? Do your research. There's like 10 different compounds of drugs, like the compound that's in many different drugs that we take that actually enhance our chances of skin cancer. I said, okay, well, that's interesting. That might explain some things. And then I was thinking, we want to grow our hair, and it's about blood flow to the scalp. It's about blood flow to everything. But what if we lay upside down 5 minutes a day and then rub our head that way? Do you think that the hair is going to grow? Is that going to grow faster? I don't know. I'm going to do that experiment. But these are the thoughts. I'm a Mercury ruled person. So all of a sudden I was like, hold on. Let me figure this out. Is there a deeper layer? Is there a deeper meaning? Aquariuses are good at sort of figuring things out and having that very scientific mindset. And when this happens, our mind gets a little more curious. And again, we get into questioning things. Aquarius, they love to question the ideas that others have, even challenge the ideas. Often they challenge things, and they usually can challenge things in a very simple way. This time can bring up some debates over ideologies, thought concepts. With the conjunction to Pluto, it may be more passionate than we originally planned on it being. It can also come out of nowhere. Our brains, our conversations and thoughts, they can be a little bit more intense at this time and faster, right? We're in an air sign now, so it's faster. For my Aquarius placements, something in your life is going to just start mentally clicking. Maybe it's work, maybe it's activities, maybe it's mental ideas, friends, something you didn't understand or felt disconnected from, etc. It's going to be now mentally clicking. Now, with this week, we have the new moon in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto. This is a new moon with a new beginning, but also the new moon's really around something just clicking, something making sense. The new moon in Aquarius themes, everything is clicking, making mental sense, new powerful ideas are born. Again, these are just kind of the themes for everyone in general. Power from speaking the truth in your mind, placing or holding boundaries that will be very powerful and also stick around for a very long time, freeing yourself from a mental burden, celebrating a healthy detachment, questioning something or someone that will end up being very important. The questioning part will be very important. This new moon is about coming up with or starting a solution to a mind-body problem that has been coming to you since August. So the new moon in Aquarius and Aquarius energy is about thinking outside the box, and sometimes even in just a very simple way, but it makes sense. Again, Aquarius people, they come up with solutions, and it's often simple, but it's like outside the box. Kind of like they come up with something, you're like, wow, why didn't I think about that? Or, wow, why didn't I see that? Well, usually an Aquarius person does. The problem with the mind-body connection, though, there's always usually a simple solution. Like when the mind and body are disconnected, there's usually a simple solution into harmony. However, our ego and the other parts of our mind, they tend to overcomplicate it. And we make it much harder. And then we create a resistance to wanting to come back together and find a solution so our mind and body can be in harmony together. This is a solution-based new moon. Here is what to do to enhance your solution-based thinking. Find a nice and sunny room in your house. Listen, I say what you want about winter. I love winter sun. And honestly, this is the sunniest winter we have had in the Philadelphia area in a very long, long time. And winter is so much easier to handle when there's sun. Like I could totally do a Colorado winter if there is sun out there. So find that room though, you know, when you're in the room and it's cold outside, but it feels warm because the sun is just blazing in, find that room in your house. Now, go to that room when it's sunny, you know, when it feels good. Because remember, it's a new moon, so we're not going to be seeing the moon at all. Find a nice and sunny room in your house, again, in that spot. Get yourself some tea, some coffee, and put on a mind frequency. That's going to be anything. That's going to be around 963 hertz. So something up in the nines, up in there, that is of the mind. That is the mind frequency. Let your mind sit, put it on. Now let your mind start to wonder about what solutions does your mind body need to reconnect to one another. Sit with that for a little bit. Okay, however long, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, that's okay. Your body, your mind will know. Then at some point, repeat to yourself. These are a few ideas of what you can repeat to yourself. You can use one and then repeat it or do all of them. I have an idea. I have an idea. Ideas flow freely to me. I found a solution. This is the solution I need. You guys get the point. Something along those lines. And when you're done, sit with yourself and a notebook and see what starts to get triggered in your mind. And also the solution should and also can, and maybe won't be right after that, but within the 2 weeks, you should really develop it over these next 2 weeks until we have the full moon in Leo. Now, this can show up as us having a willingness to take action towards the problem, or someone reach out to us with a solution, or again, we just really know the solution that we need. On Thursday, January 30th, I'm loving this, the Sun in Aquarius will trine Jupiter in Gemini right before Jupiter stations retrograde. Air signs, that's my Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This really sounds like a spiritual, more soulful search for self, morals, and is really getting some traction. That search that you've been thinking, where you have been lost, especially over these 6 months or 5 months, whenever October has been since Jupiter started retrograding, there may be, again, like a deeper search for a spiritual purpose, a soulful purpose, your morals. Maybe you're really going back and forth. What is good for you? What isn't good for you? Or maybe you're just feeling a little empty and now you're seeing a solution to that emptiness or what's something that is missing. This is going to be very good energy for communicating about a bigger problem, but with positive attitudes. So if there is any problem or there was a previous problem, this is like, okay, now we're solving it with positive attitude. This can bring an attitude shift. And remember, when you shift your mindset, you shift your world. So this is really a vibe of the transit. Again, like our world is because of our mind, not the other way around. It's the way we see things. That's what we create. Thinking and feeling comes to an understanding that flows well between both thinking and feeling. So much mental success vibes happening this week. I'm very excited about that. Then this weekend, we have the Venus and Pisces conjunction with Neptune and the nodes, where Venus retrograde will return to these points in late March, early April. So remember that whatever comes up this weekend is for my mutable energy, but especially Pisces and Virgos, there will be a return to it, whether mentally, whether physically, whether energetically, there will be a return to what happens this weekend. So pay attention to that. First of all, there's going to be something new and almost dreamy that is going to happen with this energy. We're kicking off the eclipse season now, and we are going to have in March, we're going to have a Virgo lunar eclipse. That is going to be a little bit trippy. We're there. So this, again, going to all play out within that. So now, I always say something new because Venus is conjuncting the North Node and the very beginning of the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So this new North Node energy, it brings in new beginnings. So something new is really kicking off, and it might be so subtle, but you don't really see it until it plays out over eclipse season. This can also bring a connection that almost seems magical or otherworldly. It can be a person, place, art, communication connection, something that, again, feels deep and otherworldly. I've loved this for a new creation or just being creative. Things of the art should feel on fire. Seeing how our creative energy can be harvested through soul-to-soul connection. Now, this transit with Saturn is with Saturn and Pisces, and Neptune getting ready to leave Pisces. So this can bring a little illusion that maybe we don't really see clearly until we retrograde back into these parts. So just remember that. Now, on the 4th, Venus moves into Aries at 2:56 a.m. And again, she will begin retrograding there at the end of March. Or I guess it's at the beginning of March. Hold on. When does Venus retrograde? I wrote that down. Stations retrograde. Oh, March 1st. Yeah, stations retrograde March 1st. So, a little bit under a month, she'll station retrograde. So this whole month, in some ways, will replay out again. In general, the feminine energy when Venus moves here into Aries becomes not so soft. It's a little more aggressive, but not in a bad way. Our kind of joys and pleasures become a little more thrill-seeking, you could see. Like, ooh, I want the thrill. I want the drive. Venus role placements, Taurus, Libra, plus Aries, you guys are going to be feeling this the most. There's definitely a lot more passion towards things where Venus is in Pisces. When it's in Aries, there's much more passion. Venus is in Pisces, it's passion, but it's like dreamy flow passion. Venus in Aries is like, oh, hell yeah, passion. To tie it back, there is definitely going to be some, again, ideas and dreams when we move back forward. So we sort of move forward, we take action in Aries. Aries, we take action, we begin, and then we retrograde back in, and there's almost like it needs to get more in touch. We need to get a little more creative. We need to like resurface things during that retrograde. And then when it moves direct back into Aries, the action really makes sense. And we move forward with the revisions we need. I just want to add March into like the beginning of May is going to be a very, very dynamic time of the year. I would say it's going to be two of the most intense months out of the entire year. I mean, you could stretch until June to say that, but I think like March and April are going to be, whoa, very dynamic and very fun. All right, I love you guys. You know what's been going on with me? I still feel, and I've been thinking about Jupiter retrograding my career house in Gemini. And honestly, since that began, I've been kind of like lacking drive. And again, it's squaring Saturn and Pisces. And even somewhat with doing the podcast, though life has really been showing up. You guys know that for years. But over the last couple weeks, I feel creatively blocked a little bit. There is this lack of drive. So it's me, it's you, it's everyone. It's okay. This too shall pass. So whatever you feel blocked in, whatever you feel like is not flowing easily to you or coming easily to you or have that drive, this too shall pass. And when we move into the springtime, there will be much more drive, much more passion, and much more understanding of your path, and not so much of these kind of lost, flonky, is that even a word, feelings that we've been having. I love you all. Thank you. I'll be back next week, and have a wonderful new moon.